I'm a fool. I'm a fool. I'm a fool. I didn't actually start stream. I didn't actually I didn't hit the go live button. I've been yapping for 17 minutes. Oh God, why? All right, hang on. Let me. Okay, okay. Damage control. Easy does it. So let's just type out it's a simple message that needs to be typed out. Forgot to hit go live. Ball up top. Now live for real. And send a tweet. And I gotta do that on Tumblr too. Oh, this was a classical kind of blunder. This is definitely like one of those things where it's like, oh no. Well, whatever. I'm fine. It's fine. We don't need to dwell on it very long. I'm gonna resume work as if nothing had happened. Is it possible to gaslight your viewers? I don't know. I don't know how many people look at the VODs of my art streams. Maybe from some of my gaming streams it's more likely. I don't know how many people look at the VODs of my art streams. I'm just gonna, if anybody asks why I wasn't live, I'm gonna be like, what do you mean? I've been live this... No, I can't do that. That's not good. Also, the pattern on here is... Yeah, no, it's definitely noticeable that these little guys are a little bent out of shape. How do I... Hang on. I have an idea for how to do this. Or actually, you know what? Let's copy and paste this current version of the line art, and then we can just try and work on that instead. Not this one. This one. Okay, so here's what let's do. I'm going to use the shape tool. I think the ideal one for this is probably going to be the rectangle one. We live now? Yeah, my bad. I beefed it by doing the classical streamer blunder of not hitting the go live button when you went live. It does happen. That's the thing as well, is that it in the moment, right? You're like, it's like a gunshot wound. But you know, soon enough you're just talking normally and chilling, and you forget that it happened. At least I hope I'll forget it happened. Okay, so here's what let's do. I'm going to try and build these from scratch. And by from scratch, I mean the opposite of from scratch. I'm going to try and make these pre-cooked. Okay, and then just flank it. It's kind of like a hot dog in its most basic platonic forms. All right, and here's the... Oh, hi, Ina. Yeah, this is what we've been working on. The familiar hot dog shape. Got it. It's like one of those... It's like one of those Rorschach tests, but you show it to a New Yorker and they're like, that's a pizza. That's a hot dog. You know, you use those forms which are familiar to them in order to guide the study. Clearly, that's a penis. I don't... Well, I guess I can't really claim to be an expert on the matter. It might... I suppose it could be? Don't know how to feel about that. Me when I'm at the hot dog eating competition and my opponent is attempting to throw me off with Freudian mind game tactics. I might also just try to squeeze it down here as well. That is something that I'm wary of. You know, competitive eating, it's as a whole. Penis if the balls were halfway across the shaft instead of at the base. Well, now, see, when you say it like that, it's almost like the kind of leverage points on a lever. You know, I don't remember when I learned about them. Are you all familiar with, like, the concept of, like, the 6 simple machines? They're like this idea of, like... It's very much an outdated physics concept at this point. But it's like an idea of... the simplest... I know this from Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah, so the 6 simple machines are, I think, the lever, the wheel and axle, the ramp, the wedge, which is an offshoot of the ramp, the screw, and the lever, and the pulley. I think that's 6. But yeah, the depending on like where you put the strain of a lever, it also changes like the way that it functions. And you know, you say this out loud and it's like, well, yeah, no, duh. But I'm sure that for the people who are discovering this for the first time and figuring it out, it must have been like mind-blowing. It's an ancient Greek concept. Oh. I do feel like it is the sort of thing that would also be discussed in Calvin and Hobbes. Like if you say that you know it from Calvin and Hobbes, I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That rascal Calvin would have for sure brought them up at some point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we have 5 or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Did we have 5 or 6 of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5. Calvin had to memorize them for his science class. God, he might be just like me for real. Or, I don't know, I don't remember where I learned the concept of 6 simple machines from. I think it was probably science class, but I don't... I learned some wacky shit in some of my other classes that I would not have expected to learn in them. I guess that's important for, like, a school experience. You know, you never know when you're going to learn what you learn. Alright, so this should fall just in the middle of this ribbon here. It's been long enough, I remember nothing from high school. I've also lost, like, a fair chunk of what I remember from high school. Some of it is still there. You know, certain key phrases and passcodes, but not, you know, not like knowledge with any sort of integrity. I've actually been thinking about trying to go back to my high school math textbook for a little bit. Just to try and see if I've still got it. I wasn't particularly good in math, but you know, I feel like it'll be nice to revisit now that I have a more fully developed frontal lobe. High school was too stressful for me to forget everything that I learned, but I specifically only remember my final exam questions. Yeesh. Sounds like you've had it rough. Funnily enough, my final exam is the thing that I least remember. Like it was just such a blur for me that it was like, okay, get in, sit in a hall in like this fucked up hall for 3 hours, eat something, sit at another fucked up hall for 3 hours, leave, study, cram, wake up, go to another hall for 6 hours. Oh, fuck. Crazy work they had children doing that. I also remember that during our final exams, there was one kid who did try to cheat, and he had such a stern fucking talking to. The rest of us were, like, scandalized. I will never forget the square root of 5 or the names of the framers. Huh. Well, drop the names of the framers then. I'm kind of curious about the names of the framers. I kind of want to put them on blast low-key. Let's hear the names of these motherfuckers, and we can humiliate them in public. Dox the framers from your high school math problems. The framer. Me when I specialize in portraying others as having committed the crimes that were my responsibility alone. The framers is in the guys who wrote the Constitution? Oh shit. I did not know that was like what they were called. I'm putting up a big disclaimer sign that says above my head that says this user is not American. I thought it was like a literal actual group of framers, like some dudes who are just out here making picture frames or some shit. My bad. Ace Attorney has job. God. That is true, actually. Has there been any kind of Ace Attorney murderer whose whole bid was just framing people? That would be good. Bro would be like an apex predator in the Ace Attorney court system. My name is Joe Framer, and I was framed! Definitely the kind of motherfucker you would find in case 1 of an Ace Attorney game, I agree. Framer. I feel like it would be... Hang on, I feel like... I don't know if this is even an actual last name, first name. But like Framer. Frame's a surname, so it wouldn't work too well. Yeah, Frame is not a name, I don't think. Ephraim Yo, that's fire. That's a winner. That's a winner. Okay, we have the accused is innocent. And his older brother, Inno Dollar. I'll never forget this tweet that somebody posted up near Halloween. It was this guy going to his workplace in a 50-cent costume, but the guy was Asian, so apparently his coworkers called him 50 yen. That's gotta hurt. I mean, using infinite wealth conversion rates, that works out. Yeah, the value of 50 cents has increased due to exchange rates. Hang on, couldn't I just kind of reach over here and grab these and then lower them? No, that wouldn't really work. Worth a shot, though. God. Due to inflation, this joke is no longer relevant. That's really the loss here. Wait, hang on. Does it, like, go all the way around? No, it just kind of... Okay, I think I see how to do this. We're just gonna go out on the outside. I'm sure this will have zero consequences. Bro doesn't even have eyes, and he'd be like, I see. What do I see precisely? Sometimes I do wonder if it was the right decision not giving my Sona a pair of eyes, but like the number of jokes that I've been able to milk from it, from this fact alone, have just been too valuable that I think that even if I just time slipped, is it like just a solid wall of pink? I don't know. Is the bag all you see? That's right. It's bag or die. That's the life code. God. That would be a really good explanation in case anybody in case anybody in the future does ask me, "Hey, why come you didn't give your Sona any eyes?" It's because the bag is all I see. Each grain of rice contributes to some kind of psychic eyesight. I think that is the most kind of reasonable explanation. I do want to imagine that I could just use any grain of rice to peep on the world, to expand my line of vision. In my secret agent era, just discreetly dropping grains of rice everywhere I wander. If you poured more rice into your head, would it become part of you? Yes. I don't know. There's a lot of rice in here. Like a lot. You could probably fit some more in there pretty easily, yeah. Now, if you scoop the rice out, then we might start having problems. That's mine. Can you replenish health by emptying rice into yourself? That would be an interesting concept. I'd rather eat the rice, though. If you're just gonna give me rice, I would just like to eat it normally. I guess you could use it as a sort of blood transfusion in a pinch. You know, if you find me with my bag empty, you can just stuff some rice in there. Just put a little bit of basmati in there, and we should be good to go. Pav's FPS, where the health pickups are Chinese takeout boxes filled with rice. Officially, it's sponsored and endorsed by Panda Express. Okay, so we got... Oh man, it's really throwing me off that this part has one half of a circle and this part doesn't. I'm gonna even that out for my own sort of satisfaction. Most of it will be covered by the hand up here anyway. It's not really a big deal. That's a little low. Okay, that's a little better. But yeah, I do think that it is going to be very difficult to kill me at any point. Unless you put out the sun, in which case, you know, I'm kind of cooked, but then so is most life on Earth. But why would you want to kill me? I'm just a little guy. We're all just having fun. Okay, so this is like 2... Okay, I see how it is. Big Noodles plan to eliminate all rice. I should have known. It's a carbohydrate world out here. They thought rice was getting too big because of my efforts as a comedian. Would you let your Oshi eat your rice? Without question. I can get more back. That's like asking if your Oshi needed a blood transfusion and you could donate. Would you do it? I mean, like, yeah, most people would, I think. If it's your Oshi. It is, after all, just rice. Personally, I have like a thing with my food, right? I don't like it when people take my food. Well, it's more like, would you let your Oshi drink your blood? I think most people would also agree to that. Perhaps even more so than if they asked like if your Oshi needed a blood transfusion. I think most people would be like, yeah, Mume can drink all my blood if she wants. Like, I feel like it's much harder to be a pervert about a blood transfusion than it is to be a pervert about somebody drinking your blood. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, my thing is like with food, right? If somebody takes my food without permission, I get really angry. But if somebody like asks me for my food, I'm usually amenable to say yes. You underestimate perverts. If there's like if there's somebody out there getting horned at the blood drive because their thing is blood transfusion, I guess that's more of a net benefit to the world than anything. Although I suppose I did underestimate them in that regard. Literally the same way. My mom always steals my fries, and I'm like, if you just ask for new kind of pervert unlocked. Dude that hears the word hemophilia and is like, oh, dude, that sounds exactly like what I do. And they're like, you mean you can't stop bleeding? And he's like, wait, what? Huh? No, mine's a different thing. Actually, we might be thinking of different things. That was always something though that surprised me, that hemophilia is just a thing where where your blood is so shitty and weak that you just cannot clot. And also that it affects mostly members of the royal family, from what I understand, which seems like a really clear sign of some kind of karmic balance. At least I remember hearing that it affected mostly members of the royal family. I might need to get Snoped on that. Okay. It's because inbreeding causes it? Yeah, okay, that would explain a lot. I remember reading this one Tumblr post that was explaining just how inbred the royal family tree was. And it said that like most people have like 80 something overlaps within their generation, and like the Habsburgs or some shit had like 57, like they were like 87 people, common ancestors in their generation, and like they had like 57 or something. Because Queen Victoria and her husband both had hemophilia. Well, Then I guess you can't be too surprised when most of them have it. Yeah. Yeah. God. How much longer do we have on the clock before European royals just stop being a thing? Like, altogether. Like, we have to be getting closer, right? Just by the nature of time. Like, they have to run out of them eventually. Another century? Damn. Alright, I guess I'll just have to live a longer life then. Fuck. Fuck my stupid baka grudges. Maybe longer. Too many countries love their royals. I guess that's true. I remember some people. I remember there was like one of the countries in Scandinavia that were like, yeah, no, our royal is super cool. We love that guy. And I'm like, but he's a monarch. I thought we agreed that those guys kind of sucked. They love the king in the Netherlands. I'm learning a lot more about Europe than I thought I would today. Although I guess if you have some dimwit at the kind of heading your country, I guess it's better for them to be loved than to be hated. We agreed over here in the New World. Only the French are base enough to agree. France figured it out? This is kind of a new low point, I think. France? France did? This has gotta be... What are we doing here? Genuinely. France figured it out before anyone else in Europe, even. Okay, that's kind of awesome, actually. That is pretty funny. They quite famously decapitated their royals. Ah, right. I did forget about that, actually. While we were on the topic. I did forget that they very famously did do that. Good for them, I guess. I know that Mexico had at least 2 emperors, but they executed the second one because he was from Austria. And if you're like, well, why wasn't Austrian the emperor of Mexico? Well... They danced back and forth between new monarchs and republics for a while until Napoleon's descendants stopped being based. Yeah, they really glazed Napoleon, huh? Okay. Something very calming about doing manual patterns like this. Normally it's kind of a pain, but because I know that I'm not going to draw this ever again, it's almost kind of a release for me. This must be how, like, people who whittle must feel. But yeah, Napoleon, huh? Germany was forced to abandon their monarchy after World War I, and Italy did the same after World War II, and Russia did the whole communism thing. Yeah, very famously. Almost kind of one up the French in that regard, but it is what it is. You know, if they had gotten there like a century sooner, or probably more than that. I'm not very familiar with European history. Before World War II, I mean. Russia shot their entire royal family in broad daylight. Yeah. That was that was probably pretty hardcore. England's gotta follow suit. God, in broad daylight too. Okay, just grab this and then put this over here. Put this and put that over here. They did once, but then Cromwell sucked so hard that everyone agreed to go back to monarchy. Who the fuck is Cromwell? How badly did he fuck up? How much of a stinker do you need to be to like convince an entire country that, hey, actually that system where we were kind of glazing one dude for forever and ever was actually pretty great compared to whatever the fuck this is. Literally ban Christmas. They had the fucking Grinch spearheading the country at some point. Oh my fucking god. Holy shit. That's so fucking funny. This dude. Like, I feel like there's a lot of really fast ways you can communicate to other people that some dude fucking sucks. But I think hearing the phrase, he banned Christmas is like definitely up there in terms of shit that would make you immensely unpopular with basically everyone. Especially in England. Oh my god. Oh, jeez. Bro tried to ban Christmas. Bro thinks he's the Grink. Fucking banning Christmas is so funny to me. Like, what was the plan after that? Charles I got publicly executed by revolutionaries in England, and then Oliver Cromwell took power, but he was aggressively Puritan. So once he died, everyone was like, okay, I think I preferred the king. Was Charles I the one who released that pamphlet kind of saying that he was virtuous and noble for getting executed? What, was he the guy? Like the one that like did a bunch of shit about kingship? And like the heaviest of crown? Yep. Oh my god, that was that guy? Holy shit. The dots connect, everything flows together. God, that's like the equivalent of like nowadays when somebody tries to like drop off the face of the internet, they change their profile picture to like the Kaneki despair picture and like just make their banner black, like a solid black sheet. Yeah, no, the guy that literally banned Christmas was definitely not was probably not the people's guy. To be fair. Like, fucking Christmas, bro? Are you for real? This guy was out of his fucking mind. Holy shit. God, how do you like go from that? Like, do you have any information about how they picked the new monarch after Cromwell died? Because, like, how do you go into work, right? Like, how do you approach the subject with some dude who might not even have like expected to get that job? Oh, the Charles' son was still alive, so he took power. I see. Choose a new family line with a lotto. God. It's like jury duty. every single time a royal dynasty is extinguished, some new family gets to pick up the slack. Literally what they did in Mexico. That's nuts. Literally that picture of like Joe Biden with two puzzle pieces in front of him and being like, okay, smart ass, if you're so clever, you take a crack at it. funny as hell. I do miss learning more about history. I learned a lot about American history from this podcast that I used to listen to in high school. But because I've mostly fallen off of podcasts and, you know, that in general, I don't learn about nearly as many funny historical things as I used to. Mexico begged European nobles for a dynasty member to become their emperor for legitimacy, but everyone said no, so they just elected a guy emperor. Was that the first emperor of Mexico? Hang on. Because I remember the second emperor of Mexico was an Austrian dude. First emperor, yeah. God, Augustine the First. Let's take a look at this dude. Okay, he's kind of got that shit on a little bit. I think that's like a respectable amount. Hang on. Let me put this guy up on loudspeaker. Agustín Cosme Damián de Iturbide y Aramburu. Yeah, like with the leggings and everything. Pretty well put together. An officer in the Royal Spanish Army during the Mexican War of Independence, he initially fought insurgent forces rebelling against the Spanish crown before changing sides in 1820 and leading a coalition of former royalists and longtime insurgents under his Plan of Iguala. The combined forces under Iturbide brought along the Mexican independence in September 1821. Iturbide was proclaimed president of the Regency, and a year later he was proclaimed emperor. Yeah, no, dudes used to have more last names back then. Right now, even my wait, what's this about exile? Wait. Nah, he got executed? What the fuck? And they executed the next guy too. I mean, I get that one because he was... Shh. Hang on, robot detected. Ban that motherfucker. Nationwide nutritionist? Get the fuck out of here, nationwide nutritionist. Wait, as a member of House Habsburg Lorraine? Wait, no fucking way this guy was also part of the Habsburgs. No! What the fuck? An Austrian archduke who became emperor of the Second Mexican Empire from 10th April 1864 until his execution by the Mexican Republic in 1867. 3 years! He didn't even get the full presidential term. What the fuck is this guy's problem? Okay. Oh, hey, there's the Second Mexican Empire guy. Okay. Let's go back to my guy Augustine for a little bit. Marriage and family. Oh shit, that is kind of a killer side profile. This side profile is like really good, actually. Bro had that face card. Switching sides. Not sure how I feel about the mid-cheek kind of handlebar. This is definitely a low point in his looks. Independence and early transition. Emperor Agustin the First. First Mexican Empire. House of Iturbide. Again, this dude's like side profile. Killer. He needed to be approaching. Everybody needed to approach him from the side. All right, that's how he could have won everything. That if he had done that in the courtroom, he would not have been exiled. Okay, exile. Here we go. Wait, hang on. On his way to exile, Iturbide and his family were escorted by former insurgent leader Nicolas Bravo, no relation to Johnny Bravo, who treated Iturbide harshly. Although the Republican movement had triumphed, the people still held Iturbide in high regard and greatly admired him. Huh. Okay. Execution. Why was he executed? Wait, conservative political factions in Mexico finally convinced Iturbide to return. Okay, accompanied by his wife, 2 children, and a chaplain. You always gotta have a chaplain in your posse. I've always said that. He was initially greeted enthusiastically, but was soon arrested by General Felipe de la Garza, the local military commander. The only other monarchies in the Americas besides native monarchies were the emperors of Brazil, which is a really funny story, and the emperors of Haiti, which I'm guessing is not nearly as funny of a story. Okay. The local legislature held a trial and sentenced Iturbide to death. When a local priest administered the last rites, Iturbide said, "Mexicans, in the very act of my death I recommend to you the love to the fatherland, and the observance to our religion, for it shall lead you to glory. I die having come here to help you, I die merrily, for I die amongst you. I die with honor, not as a traitor. I do not leave this stain on my children and my legacy. I am no traitor, no." He was then executed by firing squad on the 19th of July, 1824. The emperors of Brazil were actually the Portuguese royal family fleeing a coup to Brazil. Oof. Wait, what do you mean his reign as an emperor lasted less than a year? What do you mean less than a year? What the fuck? Oh my god. Like I said, I gotta start I have got to start getting back into like more history knowledge because this shit rules. Bro was not cut out for being an emperor. Very few people I feel are like cut out for being an emperor. That's definitely like the sort of shit you need to have like some degree of talent for. And the problem is that like very few people who have the talent for it are ever really want to be emperors. God. Or actually, I don't know. I don't know to what extent you can have talent as an emperor. Like, I don't think you can go to like America's Got Talent and set up like an emperor branch of that show. Or maybe you could. I don't know. I've never run a television show before. One of the emperors of Brazil, Pedro II, is like the most beloved figure in Brazilian history. Period. That's really interesting. Oh god, this is gonna be such a pain in the ass to paint with a bucket tool once I finally got to that stage. Because he was the only good emperor in human history by all accounts. Good god. Like what were some of the things he did, for example? Like why was he considered as such? I'm really curious about it now. Because it's you know, it's very common, right? Like I mean, we already hate our next president even after Trump gets into office, but like you know, it's very rare to see a leader figure for politics in a country that is genuinely beloved. He really didn't want to be emperor and wanted Brazil to become a republic, but conservatives in the government were like, bro, you gotta. Dude, that's like weirdly... Imagine you get an audience with the emperor, and like he's just drinking from a coffee cup that I was like, I really wish I was running a republic right now. Funniest shit ever. It really is strange that like almost always the most reliable that a surprisingly large number of like the reliable people in your life are people who just really didn't even want to be there. But, you know, nobody else is stepping up, so they figured they gotta. God, that is a riot. He won a bunch of wars, brought Brazil from a disintegrating failed former colony into an ascending new world power, protected freedom of speech, liberalized the government, strengthened the economy, all the good stuff. Damn, this guy was on a hot streak for real. Do you ever think that while he was, you know, if you're in a war, obviously you don't want to be on the losing side, so you just do your best. But do you reckon that every single time he won a victory, he would like go to his war tent and he would just throw his hat on the ground and just stomp on it, being like, "God damn it, not again!" He was also a famous patron of scientists and artists. That's cool. I do like that. You know, we do love a patron of the arts. When he was overthrown, there were massive protests because everyone loved him. A little funny that he ended up getting overthrown even after they were like, "Bro, you gotta be the emperor, trust. No one else can do it but you." And then like 5 years later, they're like sharpening an axe and being like, "Hey, so about the whole emperor thing." So this is really embarrassing, but... Is it just me, or is there like a trend of like the conservatives in whatever political Latin American country being like, "Bro, you gotta come back, we need a leader," and then all of a sudden them being like, "Yeah, we're gonna kill you now, by the way." I'm not emperor again, stop trying to restore me! He's like that one fucking drill tweet where it's like, I'm not owned, but instead of being owned, it's like, I'm not the emperor! Stop recognizing my fucking legitimacy, I swear to God! Okay. I think that's it for the fan. Very pleased with my work, if I do say so myself. God. This dude's life sucked so fucking bad. Like, I don't even know if he had any ambitions besides becoming emperor. Like, maybe bro wanted to like run a farm or a general store or some shit, but like, no, you're an emperor now. Fucking lock in. Didn't even try to fight back when ousted. That tracks from what you've told me of him. Yeah. He was like, well, damn, you got me. Guess I'll see myself out, put my hand in my pocket and pack up my things in a tiny box, have fun in the palace. Ooh, I wish I could stay. Oh, but you ousted me. Too bad. Anyway, catch you idiots later. He also had no sons and only a daughter, the classic. God. Him just like sending psychic brainwaves into the child in his wife's utero, being like, do not be born as a boy, do not be born as a boy, do not become a fucking heir to me, they will make your life hell, do not become an heir. Fuck me. Ay Dios. You ever saw the abolition of slavery in Brazil, like right before the coup too? That's awesome. Genuinely zero notes on that. That's cool. That's cool as hell. Oh yeah, we're actually getting into the coloring this time around too. The fan took much less time than I thought it would. I think kind of automating it the way that I did helped a lot. But abolition of slavery right before his coup is kind of hilarious. He's like, all right, I know I'm gonna get ousted soon again, but I'm gonna put some points on the board just one last time before I go. Bro was like the LeBron James of the of the Latin American empirical dynasties. Wait, is this like the same color? Okay, yeah, it is. It's surprising because because of the pips on the shawl here, it looked like it was actually becoming lighter, but no, it's the same color. God, the tones that they use were so good for this. They just like have this very warm quality to them, even though they're all mostly cool colors. Oh wait, no, are these the same color? I mean, they're basically the same color. Let's just yeah, no, they're basically the same color. Might as well use them. Okay, then put this over here. Let me bring in the Milli pen just to cover some of these areas. That is hysterical. The stream this was from is insane. Yeah, I still haven't had a chance to check out the full VOD of Gigi's murder mystery birthday party stream, but I have heard a lot of good things. I am also just very impressed that it was like such an ambitious project, but it worked out so well. Like between this and the kind of party games that they had at Narissa's stream, they're really starting to get more comfortable with kind of like pushing the limits of like what can be shown on stream in terms of just like technical capabilities. Making a birthday stream where you're the participant who speaks the least. That is also really funny. And now she's making them play League of Legends too. That's like the karmic backlash from this stream. It's just like, okay, Gigi didn't get to speak very much, so now everybody's gonna play League with her. I feel like like my parents warned me to never get a motorcycle and to never start smoking. I think they should have, like, if they were of a more modern age, they would have also told me to never start playing MOBA games. She is forcing them to play League, and only Callie ever refused. God. Having the kind of like magnetic pull to make beautiful women play League of Legends with you is something that cannot be understated in how bizarre it is. Like I can hardly fathom it. The kind of charisma you would need to convince people of it. She's got the fucking compelling voice from Dune or some shit. She got Liz addicted. No, we lost Liz. We lost Liz. Oh, we are fucked. We are so fucked. between this and Arcane, I feel like we need to emphasize the dangers of like being into a MOBA more than ever before, particularly when that MOBA is League of Legends. Like, if it was Smite or some shit or Dota 2, it's still bad, but like, I'm not, you know, it's not fucking League of Legends. We've made terrible mistakes. We took one brief hopeful step forward, and now we've taken 3 steps back. The league stream, I believe, is also where Gigi said starts sucking you to Narissa. Why did she fucking say that, by the way? What compelled her to say that shit? Oh, no, this ribbon was like much further up. What did she mean by this? God. I'll never... The thing with what did she mean by this, or like what did they mean by this, is that the one, because she's gay and annoying. Okay, the thing for me, right, is that I will never be able to associate the phrase what did they mean by this without first thinking of that one... excuse me. Without that one of like... of Tomino from Gundam, that made Gundam, the director of Gundam or the creator of Gundam, being like, I only move for her head, that's why they call me brain powered. And I cannot get that shit out of my mind ever. That's just in there now. Forever. Yeah, what did he mean by that? People are still trying to this day to figure out what the hell he meant by that. Perhaps we shall never know. Okay, and then these are just gonna kind of keep climbing up the hip. Okay. There we go. I feel like the thing with Gigi is that initially she wasn't very much like this, but like because every single time she said something gay and insane, she was just living out that one Homelander gif of people clapping at him. She's just started leaning into it more and more. Like she's taking the restraints off. This is her operating at her full power level. Okay, then add this. She did debut by calling CC Sissy, and her title is a chaser, so I think the potential is always there. That's what I'm saying. I think we've always seen the potential. We didn't expect it to kind of surface like this, I suppose. Like, hang on, when did Justice debut? Hang on, Hololive Justice. Like, it was definitely this year, right? Like, it wasn't in 2023. Hololive.wiki, here we go. Debut. Okay, June 1st, 2024. Yeah, late June, early July. It was kind of in that era, in that time era. Okay, yeah. So we've been seeing them for 5 months. This is what 5 months of being in Hololive does to someone. Crazy work. I respect it though. I mean, for some people it took even less time, right? Like Narissa came out of the gate swinging, so it's not surprising that they're in the like everybody has that potential, but it's still like it's still fascinating to just see it develop. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of like this is how they must have felt when like they introduced the Kaioken. I don't think we would actually be able to see much of the ribbon. Narissa's earliest streams included Kiara compatibility tests and Ollie wedding. Yeah. Okay, and then just this shade for the inside here. What are we doing for the little flowers on the shirt? I think they're the same color as this thing, as the part of as like the outer hem of the dress. Yeah, no, it does feel like Narissa was definitely like what is kind of like the benchmark nowadays in terms of how fast it happened, because it was almost literally right out of the gate. And the thing is, that makes sense of her as well, because like, from what I understand, a lot of what motivated her to join Hololive was straight up just being co-workers with Kiara. Which is fucking awesome. Like, if I was a streamer that had like a decent following and I also wanted to be co-workers with Kiara, I would do that. Like, that is in your power to do. You have the ability to change these patterns. I'm still thinking about that one Ollie tweet she said about Kiara's outfit one time. What possessed her to say that? Like, I know what possessed her to say that. Like, that's like rhetorical, but like at the same time, how did like the kind of wordsmithing at play at that time was frankly something to behold. Get a wheelchair? God. The way that was like one of the least insane parts of that entire tweet. The thing about the two soccer teams with both of them being theirs was, I think, like the most graphic part for me. God. I'm so glad that I'm a VTuber fan. I know that it has its drawbacks and its consequences, but I am happy at the end of the day that I am in this community. God. Seeing the full thing. Oh, God. She really said all that. She said that shit. It does put a smile on my face whenever I read it, though. That is just like hysterically funny. It's just something to say. Huh. It looks like I kind of changed the way the ruffles work a little bit here. Let me Let me go back and course correct a little bit. But yeah, insane generational thirst tweet. Oh my god, did we ever get Kiara's follow-up on that? Did we ever find out if Kiara responded to that at all? Like, do we know if she I'm almost certain she saw it, but did we get a response from her regarding that? She said nothing. Oh my god. Do you think she called HR about it? I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation either. God. Maybe she should have called HR. I do think at this point it's like the Ollie bit lives in my head personally is her showing up to Callie's karaoke and doing a red cover about wanting to fuck Callie. God. I feel like that one's on Callie though. Like, there's nothing that Kiara could have personally done to stop Ollie from tweeting that out. You know, I'm assuming that Ollie got Kiara's permission before she tweeted that shit. But like, but Callie inviting Ollie to her stream and being like, "All right, you be normal for this." Like, I feel like, oh, is that supposed to be? Wait, what? If that's a link, you're gonna have to put like a space in there or something. Okay, hang on. I think I can probably grab that. Let me see. youtube.com/ hang on. I wonder if you can just kind of put it in the search bar and it'll work. Huh. Does not wait on unless. Hang on. This video. Wait, hang on. It says that this video isn't available anymore. Hang on. Does that work? I can work with that. Yeah. Ollie sunlocks Callie with a red remix. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not playing this on my stream because it's gonna be in the background of. I don't know. Like, I got the link. It works now. I'm not playing that if I'm being fully real with you. I'm sorry. I cannot. Where you go, I cannot follow. I haven't even listened to the full cover yet. Pussy. This is an act of cowardice. I can't deny that. But you know what? Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. I'm sticking to my guns on this one. Oh, I left a line over here. Ay, Dios. Calling me a pussy for not playing that. Ay, ay, ay. God, remember remember when Raph asked me to QRT that one art like R18 artist? I also said no at that time. I'm sticking to my guns in this instance as well. I'm sorry, I cannot do this. Okay, so theoretically, both of these are kind of the same color. It's nothing too explicit. It's just I just want to fuck Callie. It's like that is about as explicit as it could be. What do you mean it's nothing extreme as any like I understand that it's not as extreme, but like I need you to understand that that saying I want to fuck Callie is as explicit as it could possibly be. God, remember when Mint had a karaoke for her 3.0 debut, and she got two people to sing Chappelle Roan songs with her? And they were really good as well. Like those were really good covers. I really want to. I wish I could like. I do wish I could get the wherewithal to just download that stream and just have those on my playlist. Remember when she did the Brainrot Monster Mash immediately afterwards? Thankfully, I was protected from that because my computer decided to crash her stream at just that exact moment. So she started singing, and I was like, "Oh boy, a Monster Mash parody!" And my computer was like, "Nope!" Like it just dove in front of the bullet in slow motion. Get down, Mr. Ricebag. Your PC is heroic. I have been saying that my PC is genuinely the MVP for having so many opportunities where it could have beefed the landing, but it's just such a reliable little machine. I'm very proud of it. My girlfriend is yelling at me for calling you a pussy. No, that's okay. I accept that. Like I'll take that on the chin for sure. I have no issues with that label. I am kind of a pussy for not playing it, but that's... Tell your girlfriend I appreciate her stepping up on my behalf. I am kind of a pussy, but I'm at least a pussy with integrity. I'm a pussy with principle. Pussy with principle definitely feels like the kind of name they would have given to like a children's book series from the 80s about a cat and recurring adventures. Pussy with integrity is what is not gonna have a triennial pregnancy. Whew. I know that's right. Okay, I think what we can do for the hair is just fill it in normally, and also for the hat too, I suppose. I should probably extend the back part of the hat here. I like this kind of warm brown tone for it. Or actually, hang on. We can probably reverse engineer this to some extent. But first, let's... I should probably get to filling out the fan. Yo, Zed, what's up? Yo, how's it going? Were you playing... What are you all doing today? Hang on, shout out... Zed. Suffer. Oh, was that not doing too well? Were they giving? Did they have a rough time with the game? But yeah, no. As always, feel free to bounce if you gotta. But you know, I always appreciate the company. I was doing splits in 3D for money. Well, you know, we've all been there. I remember when I had to do that as well, but that's all 3D body tracking. Right, you were testing out full 3D body tracking, huh? How was that? How did it go? Was it successful? Was the test a success? It sounds like it was based on the fact that they were making you do splits out there. It was horrible? Aww. Rice time. Oh, hey, Jackie, what's up? It was jank as hell, but my PC didn't explode, so I call it a success. Hey, we take those. We take those. I'm glad it worked out. Congratulations on getting it working. Yeah, no. I've always thought that you know, Live 2D is obviously difficult to get set up. Don't get it twisted. But 3D stuff is always such a pain in the ass to get working, and it's because like there's 5 million different ways to do it, and all of them are prone to error. But yeah, it sounds like you did a great job, Seth. Lexicool Bean gotta go. All right, no problem. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so we know that the version with the shading looks like this. So I'm guessing maybe we can just use... It's 2 a.m. and I have school? Yikes. Take it easy. Hang on. Oh wow, that's almost like 1-to-1, yeah. Alright, hang on. That works perfectly. Today I am a genius. I've done it once before, but this was using a way heavier program, so I was worried that with streaming it could overload the hell out of my PC. Ah, I see. Okay, just filling in all of this. God, using heavier programs is so goddamn scary. I remember when I was first trying out to use like 3D tracking with some of my stuff. I remember this was like a long time ago when I was still using a PNG tuber for the first time. I tried making a Vroid model for myself. And trying to use VC face in the Vroid model was like I felt like I was killing my computer for real. Okay. Actually, I am going to make the eyes the same. Or no, actually, they have the kind of like that nice, pleasant purple shade. The entire time I could hear my PC struggling. Oh, that is so scary. Have you cleaned your PC recently? I saw a video recently of another VTuber saying that one of the best things you can do for yourself is just like clean your... Put my girl through the ringer for $4. That's that shit they did to that kid from Kagurabachi's dad. I destroyed my PC for $10 and a lighter. for fucking bus fare. And then they walked. God. Okay. So that being the case, if we just bump this down to 50% opacity or so... Wrong layer. Doing permanent damage to my PC for the price of a Costco chicken bake. God. Ooh, I like this one much better. And while we're at it, actually... Let me just fill this, and then... Nope. Yes. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let's make those dots a little chunkier. Yeah, okay, I'm liking how that looks. But we need to... There we go. That's the way, that's the way. That being said, we still need to fill out the fan and just do the normal shading. I don't think I'm gonna go too nuts with the shading for this one. I think I should... I think for my own sanity, I should just try to keep it as simple as I can. Because the line work for this has already been a treacherous journey. I do wish I could get a Costco meal on the regular. Like, we say we have fun with the Costco guys, right? As kind of like a cultural landmark, but there is just something profoundly therapeutic about a decent Costco meal. There is a Costco not too far away from where I live, but I don't have a membership, so I can't get into the food court. I saw some dude try to run in there one time just to grab a hot dog for $1.50, and they set dogs upon him. Many dogs. A whole small pack of them. They rent him apart piece by piece, and everybody just went back to eating like nothing happened. I think one guy took video. Literally talked on stream about how wandering around Costco and getting a hot dog is genuinely therapeutic. I don't think because like I've only ever lived in situations that use for the $4.99 rotisserie chicken. God. Some dude is like munching on like a weird cracker, and he's like, "Have you tried this new Soylent Green stuff they've been putting out recently? Crazy good, am I right?" Amazing. They use probably the most American sentence I've ever heard. The thing is, as well, right? I do think I've never been in a situation where I could just like wander around a Costco for leisure, because every single time that I've been to a Costco with my family, it is get in and get out and take a whole heap of groceries with you, right? I've never just like wandered around a Costco without any particular aim to buy something. Retail therapy is such an American thing. Yeah, they got this new food court thing called Dave Bake. It's like a chicken bake, but they don't tell you what the meat is. Anyway, I've been putting up missing posters for my buddy Dave. Yeah, his brother Buster is really torn up about his disappearance. If you see him anywhere, give us a call, alright? Alright. I do agree that retail therapy sometimes feels odd. But I do kind of have situations where I'm like, oh god, I'm so stressed. I'm going to do something that the thing for me is that retail therapy is not that I'm just going out specifically to buy something to soothe myself, but it's more like an indulgence for myself. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I've had an awful week. I'm getting takeout or something. Not saying it's incorrect, just that it's absurdly American. That's a good point to make, actually. Just being out of the house is sort of therapeutic, and sometimes it's too cold to be going to the park. That's true as well. I do wonder what people did back when, in ye olden times. Did they still, like, gather around places? Like, it's just kind of hard to imagine what people used to do in the wintertime. I will now spend $1.50 on this hot dog, which will most certainly improve my mood. And the crazy part is that it does. Yeah. I'm not winter's biggest fan. In fact, I'm something of a winter disliker, but it's a changing season. You can't really do anything about that. I mean, the Americans might be onto something. That is like the single scariest sentence you can realize, is that sometimes the Americans really are onto something. I am in fact a winter lover and moved to the coldest state in my country to have colder ones. Move to Canada. Come join me up here. I could use somebody who's another VTuber who's like living in my general area. I don't even know if there's that many VTubers out of the province that I'm operating from. I bet if I went to fucking Toronto, there'd be VTubers out the ass, but nah. Your ass saying that like it isn't the dream of most Americans, cold weather is so nice is a thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from a tropical country, but I just cannot bring myself to agree. Like, I know cold weather is necessary. I know some people like it. But I am of the controversial opinion that I should not have to add 5 layers to my wardrobe before stepping outside. If I could easily walk around the city wearing chanclas all year without any significant damage to my skin, I would take that deal. Can't stand hot weather. So I see I'm being quickly outvoted, so I'm gonna need to change the topic before y'all coo my ass. Literally 5 degrees out right now, and I don't even have heat on. I like the cold so much. Also, my heating is broken, but may take a look at that before it gets really nasty. I know January is usually when actually February is when it gets really bad around here. I will say my favorite part of winter is that now I get to wear my fucking huge ass Caterpillar winter coat, which has so many goddamn pockets and it makes me look huge. There's only so much I can take off before it becomes illegal while dying of heat exhaustion. Okay, but like, there's... I need people to understand that, like, oh, but I can always put on more layers. Oh, but I can always, like, drink something warm. Those exact same arguments also work for hot weather. You could just go somewhere with AC, or you could go somewhere that has a fan. For the most part, and that also goes for winter, right? Like, for the most part, you can just put on more layers, or you can, drink something warm, or turn on a heater. We've adapted to many things to make the extremes not so extreme. But like I said, I'm kind of in the minority in this argument, so I'm going to try and shift the topics. What's some weird shit that happened to me recently? Fucking... Oh yeah. How do y'all... Okay, so recently I went to a Staples to see if I could finagle myself a scanner. It turns out I could not, in fact, do that. 34 sounds so nice. It's 74 here. Wait, actually, before we shift topics, let me check the weather where I'm at. Just so we all have a frame of reference. Okay, how much is that in Fahrenheit? Need to dip in, get some sleep before work, unfortunately, but she's looking crazy good right now. Thanks, Ed. Thanks for stopping by as well. Okay, yeah, I'm at 41 right now with some wind. 5 degrees Celsius. Very close to 0. Not a fan. It is whack as hell that most of my socialization is in the context of like American of like Western and specifically like American stuff. But at the same time, the one thing that I did not get socialized in is how to read fucking Fahrenheit. Or rather, I understand how to read Fahrenheit. I don't remember the conversion from Celsius. Like, I use Celsius. I cannot remember the conversion from Fahrenheit off the top of my head. But yeah, right. The story about Staples. So I went to Staples to see if I could buy a scanner because I've been making more comics using just traditional pen and paper, and I was wondering if it might be worth it to invest in a scanner. Just so I would stop having to go to my bathroom, which is the only place in my house with white light, to, you know, take photos of it with my phone. As a Canadian, we have to learn both, sadly. Is that gonna come up in the citizenship test? Fuck. I'm not ready for that shit. I'm gonna be cooked if that's on the if that's part of the citizenship test. At least they don't make you learn French. If that was true, then it would really be over for me. But yeah, one of the things I didn't end up buying as a printer at Staples, but what I did end up buying was some stationery, and specifically some index cards, because I really liked how firm they felt, and I don't know, it just felt cool to have them around. I'm probably going to use them for some kind of future art stream, just drawing something on an index card in the future. But I was wondering if there was like a normal use for them outside of doing such things, because I see that one side of them is just white paper and the other side of them is like line paper. It's not an official thing, but due to our proximity to America, we're kind of forced. Fucking Americans. I swear to God. I don't even understand the particular benefits of using Fahrenheit, to be honest. Like, I understand Celsius because it's supposed to be, like, scientific, and you can use it to measure, 100 degrees Celsius is like, the boiling point of water, and, 0 degrees Celsius is the freezing point of water. That at least makes sense to me. I don't particularly understand the mechanics to intuit Fahrenheit regarding its existence. Because, boiling water is kind of dumb, but we do, boiling water is kind of what we do as a society to just have energy. So it at least makes sense that we have that as a frame of reference. And, a lot of people boil water day to day. Also feels useful for, like, food safety, but... I might just be... I am definitely biased in this regard. I might switch the colors. Oh, I don't know. The thing is that maybe it's because I've got like my night light on, right? But the colors on the fan feel a little bit difficult to... Like, all of them are a little bit dark. I don't know how they came through so cleanly in the drawing here. Fahrenheit is based around how heat feels for the human body, but that's about the only place I find it useful. Yeah. I mean, I guess most people are interested in how the weather feels to the human body as opposed to boiling water, which makes sense for why it might be more popular. I don't know. It's definitely like a socialization thing, I feel. It's kind of like how certain places call soda something and certain places call it something else. Like, never in a million years would I have been like, hey, you guys want to get some pop with me? Like, that's not something I would say normally, but if to somebody from a certain region in America, it might feel perfectly normal to say. Ordinary, even. It's kind of just whatever you grew up with and are more used to makes more sense to you as a result. That, yeah. Can't really help that. The one hill I will die on, though, is my beef with Raph about whether they're called patacones or tostones. Because this is also very much a socialization thing. But he keeps picking fights with it, and I also keep picking fights with it as well. So it ends up kind of being a feedback loop of us trying to deliberately rile each other up. One day I'm going to make like an RPG Maker game, and it's going to be incredibly successful. I'm going to have a food item in there called patacones, and that's what everybody's going to know them as, and that's how Ecuador will achieve cultural victory over Cuba. This is the way. I'm not very good at coming up with revenge plans, is the thing. Like, most of mine feel like a lot of the quote-unquote revenge plans that I've come up with, right? Most of them were barely even a concept, not really a plan. The thing about there's that one meme, right? There was like a very popular that one incorrect quotes blogs on Tumblr. There was a very popular one where it's like, I want revenge. How do I get revenge? The best revenge is to let go and live well. And they're like, okay, other person, how do I get revenge? I've already packed my bags. Let's go. The thing they don't tell you about letting go and living well is that it also literally works. Like, if you just stay in your own lane and just keep rocking forever, there will come a day, and you look after yourself ideally as well. There will come a day when you no longer either need to think about them or you will no longer share a sky with them, either because they croak first or because you do. And in the meantime, you're just kind of doing your own thing. Like, it works. But sometimes you want a little bit more. But like I said, I'm not particularly skilled at organizing revenge. I guess that's probably a good thing as well. Knowing that also motivates me to not seek it. Guy who lets go and lives well, not necessarily because he believes in it as a way to move on from grief, but because he literally knows he'll get low diffed if he tries to do anything else. I'm going to grab the color that I have here with the yellow lifesaver rings, and I'm going to reduce its saturation just a tiny bit. Just so it blends in a little bit better. I'm really happy with how the fan turned out. It's coming along real nice. Okay, and then just here. This fan kind of looks like Swiss cheese a little bit. You know, at least the part nearest to the base. Do you think that okay? So you know that idea of like when a character imagines a position of much luxury, they imagine themselves being flanked by two people fanning them with palm leaves or something. Do you think that rats have a similar idea, but instead of palm leaves, it's like little flaps of cheese on perhaps toothpicks or something similar? I mean, I don't know. Cheese with holes in it would be pretty aerodynamic. You know, it would cut down on wind resistance by quite a large margin. But I don't imagine it would be particularly effective at dispersing wind the way a fan is supposed to, just because of the way it can't really displace air. It's a toughie. We've got our top rat engineers working on this problem right away to have a form of cheese that is both capable of cutting down on wind resistance, but also it does have holes in it to preserve the illusion that it is Swiss cheese. Sadly, the technology still seems years away. God, I feel like it is difficult to have hope for the future when like 80% of the stuff that could save us, that isn't just everybody immediately switching to solar energy or some shit forever, is like, oh yeah, we could probably try to use this, but it's gonna take like years before it's like viable as a technology. Also, I'm going to probably do the same thing. Hang on, select color gamut, this one here. I forgot how huge this hat is, my god. It is very demotivating, yeah. But I think it is important to even so try to keep up at least a little bit with some of the technologies. Like, one of the ones that I've chosen to try and keep up with, for example, is sodium-ion batteries. Which, if you haven't heard of those before, it's the same thing as like a lithium-ion battery, which is what we use for most electronics nowadays. But instead of it being, as the name implies, lithium, it's sodium instead. Also, I got the order of these fan thingies messed up. Should be like this, apparently. Hi, Toast. How's it going? Yeah, it's motivating, but it's important to keep going. Actually, I don't know. Have there been any developments in the sodium-ion batteries? Wikipedia, could they replace lithium? 2023. Let's do past week. Let me pop up the web browser here. But yeah, Toast, how you doing? Okay. Oh, Batteries International. Promising rival to lithium. Whenever they have question marks, that's like a nothing article is the thing. Whenever the article has question marks, it's just explaining something. Good, hope you're having fun. I am. I'm trying to figure out if there's been any developments on friggin' sodium-ion batteries. Okay, CATL unveils new sodium battery. China's CATL, the largest lithium cell manufacturer in the world, has announced its second-generation sodium battery that can operate in temperatures as low as negative 40 degrees Celsius. Yo. Speaking of the World's Young Scientist Summit on November 18th, God, the World Young Scientist Summit, 10 p.m. for me, so I gotta head to bed. All right, got plenty of rest, and have a good rest of have a good week. Thanks for stopping by. World Young Scientist Summit. Now there, that would I imagine. Yeah, I also had fun. Thank you for talking. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow as well. Yeah, I had fun talking with you as well. I hope you stop by in the future too. But God, the World Young Scientist Summit. I kind of want to go to that summit. I feel like that would have so many interesting people there. Chief Scientist Wu Kai revealed the development of the battery and said that it marked a significant leap forward. The batteries have exhibited better safety performance and low temperature resistance while maintaining energy density. The official energy density of the new sodium-ion battery has not been reported. However, CATL said it aims to exceed 2,000 watt-hours per kilogram. Although the battery should launch in 2025, mass production is unlikely until 2027. Okay. What's the average amount that a sodium-lithium battery... Hang on, lithium... ion battery. What was it, like kilowatts per hour? Okay, 200 watt hours per kilogram. Lithium-ion batteries have 50 to 20 watt-hours per kilogram. Why do you have a stupid-ass flying car here? Is that the only thing you could think of for, like, a futuristic thing? Li-ion delivered up to 10 times the energy density offered by LABs. Okay, so we have... Okay, so... Here we go. Common battery types and their energy density. So lithium-ion phosphate batteries and lithium-ion batteries both are in the mid double digits to low triple digits. All right, that's good to know. If that's the case, then a sodium-ion battery with 200 watt-hours is probably pretty decent. Which is a great step forward. I do agree that it's a really good thing that, you know, we're getting those batteries. Oh, but it's the same... Oh, but this purple is the same color as the gloves now. Unless... Hold up. Unless... And then I just drop the saturation on this a little bit? Yeah, this works. This works. Phew, that was a lot to go through for a fan. We still have a few more things to do as well. Just a little bit of housekeeping here and there. Missing some parts here too. Hold on, select color gamut, this one here. Expand this by 1 pixel. Likewise for up here, select color gamut, this one here. Expand by 1 pixel. What the hell was this ribbon's color? Oh, right, it was this one back here. I do think it was really inventive to just have this huge ribbon up here just be a single thing. Right, just like a single big fabric roll. Although I can't imagine how heavy that must be on the neck. I actually switched over from a pair of conventional kind of gamer headset to a pair of headphones called Grados, and they are much lighter on my neck, but the problem is that they do seem to squeeze on my head a little bit. So wearing them for a long time just makes my jaw hurt a little. But that's fine, I shouldn't be wearing them for too long anyway. Okay. I am going to bump up the tone of the skin around the eyes just because it's bugging me that there's no meaningful difference between the eye and the sclera here. Okay, and now we should be able to do the shading. I don't know. I might leave the shading until next time, though. Yeah, actually, I do think it might be a good idea to leave the shading until next time, actually. Let's do that, then. I think now would be a good stopping point. Okay, is there anybody streaming that I can send you all over to? Oh shit, Bond's playing mouthwashing. Alright. Oh, actually, hang on. That might have a few spoilers. I think I'm just gonna end stream for today, then. Alright. In any case, I thank you all for coming by. Thanks again to Zed for the raid. I really appreciate it. I hope you get plenty of rest, and I hope you have a good week. See you later. Bye.